Hello, students. Welcome to Easy Elimu Learning Simplified. I am your teacher, Mr. Stanley Ombogo. Students, this is another interesting episode that you are about to have. And in this episode, I'd like us to look at a genre under oral narratives, and that is legends. Remember, these are one of the long genres that we have. Earlier on in our previous videos, we introduced oral literature, that is by looking at the definition of oral literature, the importance of studying oral literature. We further looked at, the short genres and the long genres. And now in this video, we are looking at legends to be specific under some of the long genres of oral literature. So again, remember that the difference between the short genres and the long genres is that the short genres take a very short duration to perform, and the long genres are now stories that tend to take a longer duration or period of time when performing. So legends, dear students, are also called heroic stories. So these are well-known stories from ancient times about heroic deeds of brave people and memorable or magical events in a community's history. So the memorable events include war, conquests, famine, and migrations. So legends has got a number of features, and now talking about features of legends, the first feature is that legends do not begin with an opening formula or end with a closing formula because they are inclined towards a real world. So remember, opening and closing formula are some of the features of oral, that is oral narratives that we discussed in our previous video. So if you missed that, kindly check it out. So we are told that now opening formula and closing formula as features of oral narratives are not used. That is, they are not seen in legends, as they do not begin with either an opening formula or the end with the closing formula. So legends, another feature is that legends, like myths, have imaginations that goes beyond the reality, that is fantasy. And the next feature is that the choice of language and the manner of presentation of legends usually create an impression that the events and extraordinary abilities conjured are detached from the present time, yet never too far removed. So another feature is that the events that we have in legends are not specific to a particular date or time. They do not talk about a particular date or time, so they are not specific to the time. Another thing is that legends are about heroic accomplishments of renowned leaders, wise old men or women, also warriors and medicine men. Then we can also not forget to talk about magicians. So in most cases, we talk about the heroic accomplishments of such people in the community, and that is what legends are about. So another thing is that legends are mainly about people or a community recounting significant events, experiences, and developments such as raids, warfare, epidemics, migrations, drought, and famine. Then another feature is that the accounts that we have in legends are exaggerated because they have been repeated over time. So remember, they are stories that are passed from generation to generation by word of mouth. So there is a possibility of one generation uh, adding maybe things that were not part of the original story. So they are exaggerated as they are repeated over time. So another feature is that legendary characters or heroes assume superhuman abilities. that is, they have got some kind of supernatural powers. And a heroic tale deals with a single character's feats. So another thing under features is that the youth are the main target audience, since the hero is meant to be a role model to them. Then the next thing is that legends are community specific. And by saying that they are community specific, it means that they belong to a particular community mentioned in the story. So different communities have got different, legends that talks about some of the heroic uh, uh, deeds done by some of the legendary characters or the heroes themselves. So it is not easy to find a community sharing a particular legend or story or narrative. So another thing is that the hero is usually betrayed in these stories. And lastly, under the features is that legends make references to the actual geographical features in the environment of the community. So on to the next thing under legends, dear students, I'd like us to look at the functions of legends. Functions of legends. So here are some of the functions of legends. So the first function is that legends are a source of entertainment. So when they are shared, they kind of bring, joy. And another thing is that they offer education on desirable values in the community. So these stories also caution and warn the members of the community against undesirable vices such as pride, arrogance, and betrayal. Then legends also record past historical occurrences and characters. Another important function about these narratives, dear students, is that they emphasize the downsides that come with success and fame. And lastly, legends they present the society, with a collection of role models. So I have a sample of a legend narrative, and it is about King Arthur. So I'm just going to read it very fast uh, to see if we have some of those features that we mentioned earlier on about legends. So there was a young boy named Arthur who lived in England. Arthur was a kind and brave boy, and he was always willing to help others. One day, Arthur pulled a magic sword out of a stone. This meant that he was the rightful king of England. Arthur became a great king, and he ruled England for many years. He was wise and just, and he brought peace and prosperity to the land. Arthur had many brave knights, including Sir Lancelot, Sir Galahad, and Sir Percival. These knights went on many adventures, and they helped Arthur to protect England from its enemies. One of Arthur's greatest challenges was the quest for the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail was a magical cup that was said to have the power to heal any wound. Arthur and his knights searched for the Holy Grail for many years, but they were never able to find it. Eventually, Arthur was betrayed by his own nephew, Modred. Modred led a rebellion against Arthur, and Arthur was killed in a battle. Arthur's body was taken to the island of Avalon, where it is said to sleep until the day he returns to save England again. The legend of King Arthur is a story about courage, honor, and the power of good over evil. It is a story that has been told for centuries, and it continues to inspire people all over the world. So that is the end of that story, dear student, and hope it is super helpful. So that marks the end of our episode. Thank you for watching till the end. And remember to always keep it easy, Limo. Until next time, bye.